Amilita presents Ghost Stories. Season 1 Episode 1. The First Night. Amilita was asleep one night when she had a dream of being in between the two different famous known types of existence. Good and bad. Amilita, being a girl who is regular, is a stranger of these things herself. In her dream, she was in front of 3 doors. Good, blank, and bad. She decides to peek into all 3 doors before going into one of them. When she peeked into the good door, it showed naked angels going around, angels singing, some eating fruits, some floating, and some relaxing. She then went on to peek at the blank door, which was just all white when she peeked inside it. She then peeked at the bad door. When she peeked in, she saw what looks to be an old garden, which was blocked by gates from Amilita's view as she peeked in. She started noticing a creepy face behind the gates, which then visibly slowly but clearly metamorphoses into a demon. Amilita quickly shut the door until that's when she woke up from her dream. This dream is a sign of Amilita not having to go with drama. Whether she was good or bad, she would be drawn into trouble. She being a person who never usually does nothing good or bad but embodies it all. The second night. Another night, Amilita has a dream of being in a teenage party. Although she isn't into parties, which doesn't even make her feel happy. She looks around and sees some people drinking, eating food, playing games, video games, chatting with each other, and other stuff. She walks around when some kids greeted her. They went to eat at someone's car and chat. Some time later, Amilita and the other kids got out the car to take a walk and chat. Shortly, some other people were coming by, and then suddenly, the kids and the other people started coming towards Amilita in all directions. Amilita ran and went inside the house party until she fainted. Halfway in her dream, she is then transported in an unfamiliar expensive high school campus she's never seen before. It was actually the end of the school day and she was getting packing up with her stuff in a class with some other kids chatting with each other. Some other kids were messing around while waiting for the bell to ring. Amilita accidentally dropped her stuff from her backpack and the bell ringed right at that moment. The kids went outside to go to their bus routes while Amilita was having a hard time getting her stuff up. When she got all her stuff, she went outside only to be fallen from the class door, which the building she was in was actually floating. Amilita wakes up from her dream, thinking about what just happened. This dream was a sign of Amilita not having any friends and being left out from other activities and from the people around her. The third night. The next night, Amilita has a third crazy dream. In her dream, she is in a children's factory where she is ordered to draw smiley faces in a piece of paper to make the sad kids feel better and happy. She can hear and see crying and sobbing kids in a cafeteria diner, and they all needed to see smiley faces, no matter what it is made of. Amilita took pictures from TV shows of characters smiling and being happy. She was also finding herself motivated making arts and crafts of smiley faces and being creative. Amilita knows there is nothing wrong with being creative. A little while later, she has made about 20 smiley faces. She gave each of them to some kids, and that seemed to make the children feel better. Amilita then wakes up from her dream. She then realized this dream was about her helping everyone. She remembered being worried of being brought to the heck of dystopia if she doesn't help many people. She likes her own time also and doesn't want to work too hard. She doesn't want to be controlled no matter what, all she really wants is peace. The fourth night. Amilita is sleeping one night when in her fourth crazy dream. She encounters a white non-gender figure, who has no face, not a male or female, not even a non-gender figure, but just a normal figure nobody sees. The figure signals her to follow it. This dream is a sign of Amilita not wanting drama around her, and has an aptly figure to hang out with. The figure doesn't talk, but only signals Amilita on what it's trying to show. The dream shows about Amilita's introversion and loneliness. This doesn't mean she wants attention, however, as she does want to be alone. She lives in a quiet and peaceful safe neighborhood, and she lives in a cul-de-sac street so he and her guardian's home won't get ambushed. Amilita day not want friends or anybody, just her. She's also lucky to live in a generation where there is no internetic gossiping. Amilita being alone doesn't mean ghosts will track down her. The fifth night. Amilita has another crazy dream of her being in an acting cast. It starts off with two ladies trying to get Amilita ready for her acting along with some other kids she never knew. This whole thing seemed to take place at Amilita and her guardian's house. Except it looks different in one of the rooms, which was where Amilita, the two ladies, and the other kid actors were gonna be taking place acting at, looks a bit white and yellowish. The room had curtains, trophies and cameras. Amilita was sent to the curtains to put accessories on her clothes. Amilita didn't do that, though. Instead, she took her time there thinking about what was going on and that she wasn't an actual actor. Amilita wakes up from her dream and can't remember anything. Although, she does always remember to deliberate whenever she meets anyone or something. Amilita doesn't pretend to be something she isn't. Except she does fakely act happy around gaily people around her only to keep her view. But deep inside, she feels mature and bored. The sixth night. Amilita has another dream, this time it was scary. Amilita's dream started off with her and her guardians at a bar watching a movie that looks familiar to her. Amilita then started getting tired and decided to go out for a walk while her guardians watched the movie. Amilita walked out when she started having visions of buildings around her and the place she was in collapsing, having a flood break through the building glass. But whenever she prays that doesn't happen, the buildings reverse back to normal. And that's exactly what Amilita saw happen to other buildings she looks at next. Suddenly, a convenience store that was across from the bar Amilita and her guardians were at, had collapsed, breaking out with a water flood. This time, it did not reverse back to normal like the other buildings Amilita had visions of. Everybody including Amilita ran for their lives and were trying to push through each other. Amilita realizes her guardians are at the bar, but she was more afraid for her life and there were too many people running around. Amilita thought the flood was gonna cause a massive flood, crashing into everything. Luckily, the flood didn't cause that, it just drowned out and it just caused a water flood on the ground rather than gaining bigger enough to touch the sky. Although everyone was wet including Amilita, they were all fine and were not hurt or injured. As all of this was happening, Amilita then heard some people saying that someone stole some jewelry from the convenience store and was blocked by security, and that the thief caused the flood. Amilita didn't know how someone can cause a flood breakthrough as it can spill out from a building causing a massive flood. After things got settled down, Amilita then went to a lobby with some people and she found her guardians there, sitting on a table drying off and they both felt pissed about being wet. When Amilita woke up from her dream, she didn't understand why a convenience store and other buildings would be filled with water. But something made her realize that if she had a dream of something like a building exploding and she didn't know what happened inside that building, she would know what caused it to explode. The seventh night. Amilita has one last dream about herself. This time it wasn't scary, but it was okay. Amilita had her dream started off with her being in some academy class group with some other kids. There were even some kids she knew from her school in real life. There's a teacher along with a tech man who asked Amilita and the other kids to come follow her. They all went to a room outside of campus Amilita didn't recognize. They showed some rules and directions of what to follow. Then they said there were gonna be partners. One girl from Amilita's group started feeling unsettled because she thought a scary big-looking boy was gonna part up with her. But instead, she went straight to Amilita and asked if they can be partners. Amilita went for it, and they both went to a room. Right when they got into the room, Amilita had woke up from her dream. Amilita was too tired so she went back to sleep. She then had another half dream from her previous one. Her second dream started off with her being in her school campus. Except there was a row of trucks in the phys ed area outside where kids were asked to do exercise. Anyways, Amilita had found herself fetting out a pack of boxes from the row of the trucks. There were also some kids playing on the grass area of Amilita's school. Amilita was then met by the girl from her previous dream. She shook hands with her and the girl said that she was leaving to go home, and said bye. It was already time for all the kids including Amilita to go home a little while after this dream started. Amilita went to the school's pickup area, and that's where her dream ended. Amilita felt okay about a safe dream like that. The follow-up. After Amilita's dream last night, she was curious about what all of those dreams she had were all about. Amilita mostly has dreams about nothing, just pitch black darkness. But the 7 dreams she had got her thinking about herself. Amilita got a book about dream interpretations. Apparently. The first of the 7 dreams Amilita had was about her being amorphous. The second one was about her being moody. The third dream was about her being an introvert. The fourth dream was about her being lonely. The fifth one was about her being in the inside. The sixth one was about being taciturn in Billigans, and the 7th one was about her aplomb. Amilita figured this out herself after reading the book. The book does not contain witchcraft and has no theories about it. The next night, Amilita has went to sleep in a peaceful and quiet mood after finding out who she is. The end.